All right, folks, a very good evening to you all, rather good afternoon. Today I'm recording this video slightly early today. Welcome to another daily analysis video. I am Viral from the Tradepsyche. Welcome you all to the markets, right? And let's discuss that what has happened today in the markets and how can be the markets for tomorrow. All right, so in this video, basically we'll discuss some of the crucial supports, resistances, and a change in OI data, and we'll try to take out that what has happened today on on the mother of all expiries, because today was the expiry of each and every index, right? Niche index, right? So we'll analyze each and everything, and there are certain price action points which I'll try to explain in this video, right? So listen carefully, right? And the more you try to understand the price behavior, the better you'll understand the markets, right? So let's start with the analysis. First we'll discuss that what discussions we had in our Telegram group, then we'll discuss that what happened today in the market, then we'll move on to the tomorrow's discussion, right? All right, so I'll open my Telegram group, right? So in the morning, right, we discussed that markets will gap down roughly around 110 points, right? Because yesterday the US markets corrected heavily. Then we mentioned that change in OI data, slightly more number of longs. So major support is at 25,700, created small resistance at 25,800. Today OI data, change in total OI data, major resistance at 25,800 followed by 26,000, major support at 25,500. Right, then we also mentioned FI's index positioning. We mentioned that the stance is bullish. Then we mentioned we may see a negative open but buying from the lower side, right? Because if you technically see, clients were bearish but they carried index calls, so naturally everything works against the clients, right? So NFIs were bullish, correct? They carried stock futures of roughly around 41,000, right? So I'll explain this data, this conjunction in data and with today's market. So we concluded that we may see a negative opening but buying from the lower side. Then we mentioned that today's Nifty monthly expiry, major support today is at 25,500, so we should not break that today. uh, the first hour is very crucial. If you manage to hold 25,600 in the first hour, which was the support level of yesterday, then we can see a rise in the second half. Sharp short covering will only come over 25,880, right? So no trading zone will be roughly around 25,500 and 25,880, right? So let's come to the markets and let's go to the 5 minutes time frame and what market has done today. Yesterday, the markets, I think yesterday was Monday, and the US markets opened and it corrected on the article which is Citroxin, I think, which is released by Citroxin, which mentions that roughly around till 2028 the S&P would be down by 38% or 40% due to the failure of AI, right? It was this article, and it, like, now the markets are so immature, they are so volatile, and they are so sensitive that even small articles can impact the market a lot, right? And overall, I think the bearish sentiment was there in the US markets. Because of that, gift nifty fell roughly around 150 points and we opened gap down. If you can see, we opened gap down, and the moment we opened gap down, since we discussed that these many bulls will get trapped if the markets are opening gap down in the last video, right? So the moment we open gap down, I think in the first, we mentioned that we'll have to wait for the first hour. The markets today did a different deal, and today I'm literally, right, slightly frustrated with the market, because today they changed the script today, because generally they keep the market sideways from 10:30 to 11 a.m. and they make it trending in roughly around from 1:30 to 2 p.m. But today, for intraday players, for trending intraday players, the markets were actually good, because we opened roughly around a gap down, then we waited for 1 hour, and the moment, I think I mentioned 25,500, it broke 25,500. Markets broke 25,500 at this point of time, but market sustained at this point of time, even though we went till roughly 460 after breaking 500, but we took a support at 460. But if you guys remember, the crucial point was 25,390. And nowadays, right, the markets have started to behave slightly differently. I'll explain you why. See, generally from theoretical perspective, if at all a level is being broken down on the downside, you give a retest and you keep continuing on the downside. In Indian markets, what happens is, when a good level or good support is broken down, the market generally creates a trap and it goes on the upside. And same is the case for upside also. So if you see today, the markets essentially decisively broke the level of 25,390, but then also markets gave you a pullback and it went again in the range, right? And yesterday what the markets did is, markets broke about 25,600, market touched 25,770 and gave a good closing, but today we opened gap down. And this has been happening from past, I think, 2 to 3 weeks. And I think in middle of the day in the Telegram group we discussed, I'll make you see, we discussed that yes, this range is being broken down, but we did not sustain. Now again there is a possibility that we might do this price action, then again it might be a possibility then that we might do this price action, right? So there is a different kind of drill going on in Indian markets. And even if you see, I'll take you back to the early time frame. Even if you see at this point, the markets came down, took a support at 390, went up. The markets came down, and this move was purely on Sensex expiry. The next day we opened, we formed a bullish candle, we went up. And today, this was Nifty monthly expiry. Every index was monthly expiry. I think this fall was because of that. And tomorrow we might do this. So this is the drill which is going on. There is no decisive trend in the markets. And why I'm a little bit frustrated, because if you see gold, if you see silver, if a decisive level is breaking down on the downside, it is being respected. But today, 25, 390, 370 broke down. Just imagine the people. We had this setup that on the breakdown of 25, 500, we will trade the breakdown. We traded it. I personally traded that breakdown. The moment markets broke down 25, 500, I traded this breakdown. The markets came till 390. I was seeing a very good profit. But since I'm a swing player, I'm a positional player, the markets again came back up till 460. And the VIX sharply declined because the expiry was over. Still, I shorted at 25 400, breakdown of 25 500. The markets are at 460. Still, I am in 40 points in profit, but that 40 points is taken away by VIX decline. So you wait the whole market, because markets opened at 630. Our strategy was to only and only trade below a decisive level breakdown, because on the days which you take a impulsive trade on in the morning itself, the whole day will be sideways. The day which you the only day which you follow the system, the markets will do just the exactly opposite of that. And I think that's the way how Indian markets are, right? So you cannot fight it, you cannot roughly abuse it, you cannot do anything, you can just follow it and dance on its tune, right? So these were the markets. And today, uh, let's go back to the Telegram group. Then we mentioned Nifty IT going to hell. Then we mentioned Nifty IV is high and premiums are almost decayed. Seems like a volatile action within range, I think. Then probably we mentioned that Nifty is breaking 25,500 and sustaining, not good for index. Get ready for swing short. Then we mentioned, I think, the market started falling, right? Then we mentioned this, that around roughly 446, we mentioned that markets have literally no strength now. Now break of 25 400 seems imminent. It broke, it went, the markets went till 25 330, but suddenly, not sure what happened, the markets turned around. Just because it was expiry, maybe. On expiry days only the moment comes, and but it does not sustain. Below 390 we will short Nifty future, but we never got the conviction. When Nifty was around 25 419, it broke 100, roughly 100 points, right? And it gave us also good profit, but that did not sustain, right? At this point we were roughly at 25 337 at 2 o'clock, and then suddenly the market started taking support. The markets didn't even close below 25,400. But yeah, average on the charts, if you see 460, you might be seeing, but average close is coming roughly around 25,420. So yeah, Indian markets are difficult. Indian markets are tricky. You cannot, because why? Because the structure is made up like that. And I am a keen close watcher of mid cap Nifty. I shot. See what happened with me. I'll tell you my trade openly. I went roughly because the mid cap Nifty was going good. I traded for the breakout, but on mid cap Nifty, but it broke down. I exited roughly around here. I took a stop loss. Then I shorted Nifty roughly around at this breakdown, right? But the markets, they took support, and roughly I exited my short also on Nifty cost to cost, but my stop loss on this still remains in my portfolio. And if you see the recovery in mid cap Nifty, it's very good. Now I'm not sure which move was real. Either this move was real or this move is real. That only time will tell. But to some, to conclude, yes, trading is difficult in Indian market. That I can agree. It is not easy. It is not a kids market, because it will make a fool of you 99% of the times, right? Now there are so many patterns in the market. Even markets were creating a head and shoulders pattern. If you remember, we were discussing from long time. Today we broke that head and shoulder also, but still we did not sustain on the downside. We are not sustaining on the downside. We are not sustaining on the upside. The markets were going up. Even yesterday, if you guys remember, we discussed that, oh, this is a good breakout in the markets. The markets have given a good close, but we opened, you know, below that only, right? But today, let's start the discussion for tomorrow. What has happened has happened. Let's move on in the markets, right? And then we mentioned that Nifty has held 25,400 till 3 p.m. Uh, if we close below it on the closing basis, it will be super bearish. But still, we are closing below prior day low. Still, we are bearish, right? All right. So let's start the discussion for tomorrow. Nifty weekly time frame, and today we tried to give a daily close. And the players in the markets are so smart. I'll take you to Bank Nifty. I'll make you see. Today, if at all, we would have given a daily close below prior weekly low, which is 380. The markets would have been, collapsed tomorrow, day after tomorrow. They would have started, it would have started, the markets would have started going on the downside. But the players are so smart, they did not want to, close on daily basis below prior weekly low, just to give, just to not give a bearish sentiment in the markets. So that's how the markets play you, and you need to adjust yourself according to that. You need to be a little bit aggressive in the markets. Indian markets are not like that, that you execute something and you sit it in for days. Yes, trends like these are a bliss to the traders. Trends like these are a bliss to traders, but it takes a lot of patience, a lot of guts to traverse, trends like these, right, traders? So let's start the discussion now. The only level which I will mark is 380, right? Although yes, today's day low is 320, which will also be important. But on an overall basis, see what, even before, you know marking any level, because if you have been seeing my videos from a long time, you by now at least should know that how to mark the levels, right? So levels, it's fine, it's very easy. How to mark level, it's very easy. But what is the market actually doing? We have to understand the price, we have to understand what is the market saying to us. See, the markets rose for a couple of days, then it corrected in 3 days. Then again markets rose, then it corrected in 1 day. Then again markets rose for 2 days, it corrected in one single day. So clearly, this range, this support has gotten ultra weak now. Today, I think probably was a trailer of what might happen in next 2 to 3 weeks. But still, I think from my perspective, you cannot take out the bias in the market, because at one point of time, the markets will seem ultra bullish to you. The markets, if you hide these last four candlesticks daily, in this candlestick, the markets was seeming very good bullish. But what happened? Thursday we broke down each and every single support level. Yesterday we closed our prior daily high. Today we are closing below prior daily low. So, and if you say I had a setup that do not I'll not short unless and until 25,500 breaks down. 25,500 breaks down, but the markets are again coming back to 25, near to 25,500. The markets should not have given this pullback technically, right? So now today, as per the system, markets have given, and this pullback, right? It seems a little bit justified because the markets, how much ever you can complain about the markets, but if the markets are falling 300 points from the top, it has the right to rise about 100 points from the bottom. See, it fell from 25,630 to 330, almost roughly 300 points. So it has the right to rise 100 points. That is fine, but it's just that our execution point was slightly lower than 25,600. It was roughly around 25,500, and the markets fell down till 25,330, but again came back till 460, 470. That is a separate story, but all right, not to complain, because the more we'll complain, the more we'll be like, the more we'll start to crib and start less to focus on good opportunities in the market, right? So for tomorrow, now what has the market done is it has closed below prior daily low, right? So that turns the market into a short term sell on rise unless and until we close back up again prior daily high. But on Nifty weekly time frame, today we have triggered the SLs of 25 380, 25 400 people. So this level now remains weak, right? And even if you see from moving average perspective, the 5 EMA which had cut $20 EMA from the upside on weekly time frame, it is not going up, and the prices also has started to close. If this weekly close happens below 370 380, then I think a close below prior weekly low will happen, and this trend will start to resume like this, right? And from past 4 weeks we are making lower highs, and for the first time in this week, today we breached prior weekly low, but we did not sustain. That's a separate story that we did not sustain. But yes, if you see, we are making lower highs, right? So it is a very this is a very famous bookish pattern, and it generally results in a big breakdown. So this is the pattern which is going on in the market, and eventually markets will squeeze. There is a 90% probability of a breakdown, but 10% probability of a huge breakout also, right? So we have to deal it with this way, right? So today's low is 320, 25, 320, and a major support level got breached today. So I don't think so that it's a good support now. So tomorrow, if we start to slide down below 380, we will definitely do 25,100, and I am now damn certain that we will cover this trade deal gap. Below 25,100, 25,000 can be seen. Bullish, where to go bullish? Only think of bullish entries above 25,650. Above 25,650, you can target 25,760, and above 25,760, 25,880. Above 25,880, you can target for 26,300. Let's go to hourly time frame. Weekly, I have mentioned that still we have not. Today we went below, but we did not sustain, right? So tomorrow also weekly candle will be monitored. Let's go to hourly time frame. From daily we are bearish, but from hourly perspective, if at all you see, all the moving averages were stick to each other. Now 5 moving average has come down, and technically the market should take a resistance from this point, because if you guys remember, this is the setup we talk about every time. 5 moving average crossing down each and every moving average on the downside. So a short will be triggered here, and do not exit your short unless we close any candlestick above 5 EMA like this. Alright traders. So on shorter time frame, we have a pattern in Nifty to go to come till this point and to go like this. So technically now at 25,390 markets have taken a support from 3 times. The fourth time or maybe the fifth time it will not sustain. So either Nifty should not hit 390 tomorrow, and if it hits, it will break down. So for tomorrow, since we have closed below prior daily low, I will look for sell and rise opportunities. I will not look for buy and dips opportunities even if we cross above 25,500. If we cross above 25,500, let the markets go. I will now only properly, I will only go long above 25,650 or 880. That's it. Because this range has been, troubling me from long time. I'll not trade in this range. Today I traded as per the setup, but market stabbed me, so it's okay. I cannot do that. My risk management saved today. I only lost 1 to 2% of the capital. Right? So I will not go bullish unless and until we cross back above 25,700 or 25,800 or 880. Right? But I will aggressively short the markets the moment tomorrow we break down 370, 380 for 25,100, 25,000. All right. No trading range will be 25,380 to 760. This will be no trading range, because if you go on the upside, you will face this as an ultimate resistance. You will come down. If you will come down, you will face this as a support. But today, one more interesting thing has happened. The earlier 2 times, whenever the markets hit 390, it took a sharp reversal and it took a big reversal. Although we have seen a reversal today, but the markets sustained for a couple of hours at this point of time. At this point, but generally, if you see the markets after giving a pullback, it sustains roughly 200, 300 points above 390. At this point, also, the market sustained slightly above this, but we have started sustaining on a range below. So it might be possible that we might be in a range and then give a breakdown, right? But negation of this bearish price action will be only above, first sign will come above 650, but that does not mean that you have to go long above 650. Go long only above 880, because that will only clear this range now. Alright traders, let's discuss on the basis of opening. If at all we are opening a big gap up, roughly around somewhere, I will leave Nifty tomorrow. I'll not trade Nifty unless and until the markets go above 760 or 800. If at all we open flat, I'll wait for a breakout on the breakdown on the downside, or I'll wait for a breakdown about 25,800, this level. I'll not trade for the bullish trajectory like this, because I know the moment I'll trade, I'll hit a stop loss here because it is a resistance. I'll hit a stop loss here, it is a resistance. The markets, if it goes, the markets will try to turn around like this. Then again, markets will take a support. Market will do this, do this, do this. Nothing fruitful here. All right. Personally, I'll be looking for sell and rise opportunities for tomorrow, but it will be dependent. It will be motivated by the data coming today after 7:30 p.m. Right? Nifty Bank. What Nifty Bank has done today? Nifty Bank, and in Nifty Bank, see how smart the people are. How smart. That's why the smart money is called smart. Today they wanted to close. The broader markets wanted to close the Bank Nifty below 61,000 and below prior daily low, but they did not. The smart people, the smart money did not allow to do it. Right? So what Bank Nifty has done, it has formed a definitely bearish candle, but the closing is not below prior daily low. Right? So mark this level of 61,500. Only and only bullishness will come over 61,500 for 61,700 and 62,000. Look for sell and rise opportunities below 6,800. Below 6,800, we can essentially hit 6,500. Below 6,500, it's a plain drill down till 60,000. Alright. So do not trade, at least do not trade in this range. Wait for the markets to break down. But again, the same point comes, if at all we wait enough to trade this level breakdown, then again what the markets might do is like this. I'm working on a strategy which will help us in, tackling this kind of moves, that if a certain level is being broken down and it is starting to retest, how to trade that move on the upside or maybe on the downside, whichever the direction markets are trying to trap someone, right? Nifty mid cap, if at all you see today, it has given a good bullish recovery from the downside, almost 13 from 13,300 to 13,500. Any move above 13,500 tomorrow can result in 13,580. Above 580, you can see 740. But any move below tomorrow, below 13,350, you can target 13,300. Below 13,300, you can definitely target for 13,250. And mid cap Nifty, by the way, is already on its way to cover the trade deal gap down, okay, trade deal gap up, right? And it has almost covered, because mid cap Nifty closed roughly around 13,250, and today the low was clocked around 13,300. So only we were shy of roughly 60-70 points. So that does not matter at all. I think mid cap Nifty has now covered the trade deal gap, right? Let's start the discussion for gold, silver, and crude, the commodity discussion. So tomorrow, yesterday, gold was roughly good, in a good bullish trajectory on the anticipation of the US tariffs, and it, like, gold experienced a freak trade till 168, and I'm not sure how this candle got formed, because there was a huge quantity long being done here. 25,000 of gold futures April. Since it's a green candle, we might go on, if you want to see. Yeah, if you let me go back to 22,000 buy quantity got triggered at this point of time. This is a green candlestick, right? So for gold now, uh, let me enlarge this, right? Simple, gold is in a religious buy on dips momentum. Do not short gold unless and until we break down below 159. Why I'm discussing April future instead of March? Because if you guys see, instead in March futures, it is about to expire on March 3rd, which is very much near. That's why we are discussing. And even if you see, the liquidity is very less. The liquidity is more in April futures, right? So do not short gold unless this strong demand zone is getting breached on downside. Try to long gold above this level one, because many call sellers would be accumulated at 161. Try to long gold above 161 for target of 162 and 163. Good shots will only come below 160. Below 160 you can see 159. Below 159 you can see 158. And if at all we start going below 158 to 60, we might cover this gap till 157. All right. So buy on dips for gold unless we break down below 160, 159, 160. For silver, silver also is in a bullish trajectory. Yesterday we saw a very good gap up, and from that perspective, silver is in a sideways phase. So technically this suggests me that silver is doing like this, but generally the bookish price actions does not happen in they do not happen in commodities, Indian commodities. So any break below 2,74,000 will result in retesting of this whole green candlestick till 270. All right. So we have this supportive trend line also. Unless we break down this supportive trend line, do not short silver. Try to long silver above 280 for 290 and 3 lakh. Crude oil, crude oil has been trying to go bullish, but it has been sluggish after that US Iran war news came. The US Iran war news got digested in this move, and since then the crude has been sluggish. So try to long crude only above 61, I think 50, and a good shot will be triggered in crude below 5965. Why? Because this M pattern price action will get triggered. This M pattern, this M pattern will get triggered on the downside, and its neckline is roughly 5965. So below 5965 you can see 5900, 5850, 5800 in crude. That was the discussion of commodities. Let's quickly discuss the change in OI data. For change in OI data, if at all you want to see, 24th Feb expiry has happened, right? Let's shift to 2nd March. So for 2nd March, huge shorts have been added, and the biggest resistance which I've gotten added is at 25,500. So expect the markets to do not break out 25,500 so soon in the markets, right? Uh, interest on for 2nd March is good. Shorts, good longs unwinding is seen at 25,700, and maximum shorts addition today has happened at 25,500 because it's a psychological level, right? So I'm not expecting the markets to intraday go above 25,500, but if at all we open gap up, then I think again short covering can come in the market, right? So good bearish data has got added today, right? 30th March, for bank nifty change is 6.7 lakh addition of longs and 6.2 lakhs addition of shorts. Very slightly minute quantity of longs more have been added than shorts, which gives me a slight bullish bias. But PCR is almost one, so bank nifty is literally very uh, sideways. I think there is no bias in OI data in bank nifty, right, traders? So this was the discussion for nifty, bank nifty, commodities, and the OI data discussion also. I hope you have liked the video. If you have been seeing this video till this point from starting, leave a like, leave a subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed to the channel. I'll be leaving the link to my telegram group in the description box below. Please do find it. Cheers, stay safe in trading. Good evening.